Mysterious objects in the skies. Local residents of Hawaii explain their encounters. With sightings over and over the skies of Hawaii, specialists will describe and give their insight on what they think they may be. Lights over Kukahili and the Big Island of Hawaii. Local residents explain what they think they encountered and videotaped with their own video cameras. Could these objects in the skies be military exercise? We will ask the questions right here. Incredible HD video, which highlights the most fascinating cases of UFOs caught on tape in the state of Hawaii. The ancient Hawaiians referred them to the Kukahili, the dancing lights. UFOs will be explained in this documentary. Could Hawaii be a hotspot for UFOs? Could the majestic landscape and sacred grounds be a magnet for UFOs from other planets? Or could they be Hawaiian gods coming back to the Aina? UFOs over Hawaii. Now let's begin our journey on the Hamakua coast with spiritual leader Kamaka Vivi Ole.
The UFOs have been coming to the islands of Hawaii for millions of years. And they came here originally. And all they're doing is showing us that they're back again. And they want to be with us once more as a family. But the aliens have been known to us and known to the Hawaiians for a long time, but they don't speak about it. But they now want to share this, and the Hawaiians have the greatest opportunity to come out and be with them. The understanding of the star family is the biggest thing. And we now have a great opportunity of our lifetime to be with the star family. So let's begin this journey together.
It was a long journey for the Hawaiians to find their way to Hawaii. They traveled by using and guiding their way across the Pacific, using the lights and the stars as their maps. Could they have witnessed things on the way over the ocean in the night skies that may have helped them on their journey? Evidence is here in the state of unexplained artifacts and unusual structures, along with many sightings of UFOs in the valleys riddling the islands.
Lights are flashing like crazy. It's moving now. Getting this on tape.
The UFO that came out from the valley came out from the pyramid in the back. There's a pyramid-shaped portion of the valley that where the UFOs come from. They enter and exit through that portal. Now, because of that, what was seen there was them coming out, showing themselves, and they have an opportunity to now reveal that they are in that valley and have always been in that valley. And now the people can see them fly out, and it will be shown more and more each time.
Dr. Linda Hostelek will give us insight with the star family and their relation with the islands.
There's a grid, and there's these things called telluric currents, which are electromagnetic anomalies, which were put in place by the ancients thousands, millions years ago, because they're beacons for them to return home. Because when the star family returns home, it's like their navigation system. Where do they return to? And Hawaii is very blessed in that regard, as the electromagnetic anomalies are very powerful here, very strong. Most people will come here, they will feel something, even if they don't normally feel things. For those that are sensitive, they're going to feel a lot. It's a great place of power and healing, and has been renowned throughout the universe for its healing properties.
Could the Hawaiian Islands have special healing powers? And could beings from other worlds find this place irresistible? the largest valley on the Big Island of Hawaii, has the mana, the power. Could this place be a magnet for UFOs? Waipio Valley, the Valley of the Kings.
Well, first of all, the valley is holy. It's an absolutely sacred site, and people have been doing ceremony there for eons. The footage that I saw represented an observer ship, one that kind of checks in on things and makes sure that things are the way that they should be. In addition, my feeling is that it's from Sirius. Okay, it's a Syrian ship, and there's different observer ships that are stationed throughout the entire globe here to check in and make sure that things are still pristine, that the ceremonies are still being done, that the ancestors who have passed down the traditions, that they're keeping those traditions so that the energy remains high. Because when the energy is high, then the vibration is high, and again, it's like a roadmap so they know how and where to return to.
What you're about to see are 2 videos shot by Paul Abakar of Waipio Valley.
I think it's there he is. See it? Right there. Oh my God. Oh no. Look, there it is. It's moving now. See it? Oh my God.
You see that? Oh God! Oh, what is that? What is that thing? Craziness.
A simple man who lives in a plantation home with curiosity of what goes on over his home, known as Kukahaili, the dancing lights. Paul Abakar will explain some of the most amazing encounters he's had.
I was born and raised here on the Big Island. Lived here my whole life. This is on family property. You know, we live in Kukahaili pretty much forever. We had this house. Traveling light, they say, is the night marchers protecting the land. You know, the spirits of the Hawaiians, basically, you know, protecting the Aina.
Could the military and CIA Black Ops be experimenting with aerial drones over the Hawaiian Islands?
That day was in the kitchen just hanging out, and my cousin Johnny was outside screaming. Like, bro, come out here. I don't know what he was yelling about. So we came flying out, and then Johnny was like, bro, it's one UFO. Like, oh, God. Oh, what is that? It was up in the sky, it was metallic, it was just sitting there. You know, it was kind of windy that day. We didn't know what that was. Just by chance, I got to catch it on video. It was pretty amazing.
Paul is a local boy, but Paul comes from a very long ancestral connection to the Star family. His knowledge about this here is that his family has come to see him. And this is why they showed up only to Paul. And he has the greatest opportunity to share this out, that his family has this type of technology. And this is why he is now going to be on a journey, knowing that this is what he saw. And what was happening there is that the spinning UFO that was seen there was a UFO that was used for observation purposes. They come in and they check out the area of all of the places that needs to be kept intact, because some of these places have not been kept intact and have to be taken care of. The evidence of the Hawaiians' connection to the Star family has been from day one. They have known this. This is why they have always kept those things that are sacred to them. Pele, Peleahu, all part of the star family. The problem is that we have taken this and driven away from it, and I've asked, who are they? You know, why do they exist? What is Pele all about? She's all part of the star family, just like all the others that have come here, the holy ones. And this is why it's not becoming real for the people. And this island of Hawaii is the biggest place for it to happen, because we have those things that exist in Mauna Kea, the volcanoes, the oceans. We have all of these areas where the UFOs can come inside and use them for their purposes. But what we're concerned about is to make sure that these places all over the earth is pristine and we do not lose balance of it.
Oh, absolutely there's connection, absolutely. And I think all Native people everywhere have connections, and they're the holders of the secrets. And the secrets are written here in Hawaii, but you have to have the right eyes to see, okay, the right ears to hear. Because if you have that sense of spirit and you can open up and listen, you can see the signs everywhere. You can see the guardian faces in the mountains. You can feel the energy in the certain plants. You know, there's much healing here. And the rocks will tell you much. Pele, I mean, the fire goddess of Hawaii, the creative goddess of Hawaii. There's evidence everywhere of her. You know, it's the only place in the entire world that new earth is being created on a daily basis. You know, that's pretty special.
Craziness!
Time to wake up, Paul. It's time to wake up and claim your place. You know, there are certain individuals here that have come here with that very job description, to wake up and to bring the knowledge to the people. There's a reason they show up in his footage, because he's supposed to see them and he's supposed to bring them out to the people. You know, those aren't ordinary pictures. You know, I've seen them. You know, they're real. And when you see phenomenon like that, at first you kind of like, no way, this can't be real, I don't believe it. But when it continues to happen over and over again in your life, that's a message from Spirit that you need to take seriously and to do some soul searching and find out what is your position here.
Pearl Harbor is like an island away. You know, it could have been a military drone. They do testing on the slopes of Mauna Kea all the time. There's military bombings up there going nuts. People bring their people up there just to hear the bombs, you know. It's like, who knows what that could have been? That could have been totally military. I'm not telling you these are aliens from outer space. You know, I'm just telling you what I caught on video. You know, what my beliefs and yours might be different. It's an identified flying object, so it's a UFO in my book. I couldn't tell you what it is, or who's to say what it is. Yeah, some people tell me it's all fake, CGI. I don't even own a computer. What is CGI? You know what I mean? I'm just a man who caught amazing footage. I don't own a computer, not even a smartphone. You kidding me? Yeah, I know the difference between an airplane, helicopter. You know, there's no aircraft I've ever seen, ever. So I caught them on video. You know, you make your own decisions.
Whether they be UFOs, one thing's going on for sure. The military's very active in the state of Hawaii.
Well, I think that there is a cover-up. I think that most of what is released as UFO footage is really stuff that the government has thrown out there and wants to throw out there to throw people off the track. Because I think if they people knew what was the truth, that it would discredit the government, and their whole perception of reality would have to shift and change. And they would no longer hold the power that they do as, you know, the military-industrial complex that it is today.
Could UFO evidence like this and people's testimony from Hawaii bring the government to finally release and give disclosure?
The red herring is like when there's a whole bunch of things thrown out there. Maybe there's 20 things thrown out, but only one is real. The other ones are designed to either prove it to be fake, so that you don't believe the one that is real, or are designed to confuse and manipulate and control.
Much of what the government has shown is to really cause us to ask questions. Is there always something out there? They've caused so much chaos within the whole community, the global community. It's protect what they've got. And all the incidents that have occurred here in the United States and all over, they have used all the technology. And basically the government and those other companies in the world have protected their sources. And we know this. And now it's coming up to the truth, and the truth will be heard.
Yeah, so that day I had my video camera and I was in my kitchen. Yeah, my cousin Johnny was just screaming, saying, "Oh, come out!" I was like, so he came over here, and then right there, you can see him in the background. Yeah, I've been seeing lights in the sky since I was a little kid. You know, maybe we're out here isolated, out in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, we went out there, it looked metallic, shiny. You know, it was a real windy day, I remember. It was big, it was like 15, 20 feet, like the size of my truck. It was huge. It was just sitting there for like 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, I've been seeing lights in the sky since I was a little kid. You know, maybe we're out here isolated, out in the middle of the ocean, Pacific Ocean. Maybe, you know, the UFOs like coming to Hawaii because we're so isolated out here, you know. Maybe they love it, who knows? So I'll come out every night before I go sleep. I look at the stars with my camera to see if I can capture anything. And this one night I was out here, I looked in the sky and I was like, no, that's not no star. It was moving, it was creating this shape. I looked up and I said, it looked like a bright cross. So I was like, no, that's not no star, no satellite. It doesn't move like that and make like a shape in the sky. So I just kept filming. was well lit, you know, the nice moon in the sky. There's no other stars in the sky, so except this bright orb looking light shaped like a cross. Was the atmosphere would look like it was in our atmosphere, not in the sky. You know, it was amazing. I live 4 miles away from a special place, Waipio, Valley of the Kings, a very sacred place. Sacred burial grounds. You know, Waipio is special to the Hawaiians. Well, I just go continue to keep my eyes in the sky. I'll always have my camera out, and hopefully one day I'll have the answers to what's going on in the skies over Hawaii.
Orlando Smith, a musician, captures something amazing over the Hamakua coast. A military C-17 transport tracked by an unknown object.
You know, I've been living in Hawaii for 20 years, about 22 years actually. And I came here originally because of the beauty of the natural landscape. There's a lot of people, I have a lot of friends that have told me countless stories about things that they've seen, experiences and stuff. And, you know, I never really, I can't say that I believe or disbelieve. I have never really seen anything like this that has really been so unidentifiable. Just, I don't know what the heck is going on there. So I came up here to get some shots of the Pink Church, and I look to the coast and I see this big military transport, kind of look like a C-17 or something like that. A huge jet. I get some shots of the jet. I start videoing the jet, you know, just out of curiosity or something. And an object like the size of a minivan or something flies up behind the jet, and I'm shooting the jet and I see this thing fly right in.
With steady hands and calm nerves, Orlando Smith captures something amazing over the Hamakua coast. What is this object tracking the C-17? With video evidence like this, it leaves one to wonder, are we alone?
If you want to really know what the truth is, there's a lot of things that have been declassified now. And so you can write and you can find them out. And ask questions. And don't just take the pat answers as truth. You know, seek them out. And in your meditation and your prayers, we all have this inner knowingness of what is right and what is wrong. We're born with it. Just like the birds are born with a homing device that they can follow north and they can migrate. We have an internal compass which tells us what is truth and what is not. And listen to that internal compass. Again, most of what they're going to throw out there isn't true. And it's designed to throw you off the track. But if you listen inside and you can see the signs of what is true and you see things happen to you, perhaps there's a knowingness that you have and you find it to be true, and all these dots are pointing the way to a certain direction in your life. Listen to that. That internal barometer inside of you is going to really, it'll put you on the right path.
Orlando explains on how he was on the right path, capturing his UFO.
So I kept filming the jet and the object as I was following it across the horizon, and as I zoomed in, I was like trying to figure out, what is this object? I couldn't explain what it was. How could something have flown right up to the jet and then be passing, be like almost attached to the jet, like it was gonna dock to the jet or something like that. I was like, is this some kind of crazy maneuver where something is approaching the military transport and gonna dock like in the movies or something like that? I was like, what is this thing? So then as I zoomed in, I'm thinking maybe it was a parachute or something that got tangled up, and then somehow they were gonna bring it in, because it was approaching the thing from the back. It wasn't like going away from the vehicle. So I was like, what could possibly be approaching the vehicle that close? And then so when I started zooming in, you could see there's no parachute, there's no cables, there's no nothing. All you see is a big metallic object like the size of a minivan. The crazy thing is the shot's only 26 seconds, and it seemed like I was shooting forever as I was following the thing across the horizon. And I still don't know what that other vehicle was, but I knew when I was getting this shot that this is some crazy thing happening here, some military related. So I'm still thinking it's got to be like some kind of military refueling transport, you know. But when I zoomed in, you can see there's no lines, there's no cables, there's no gas refueling line, there's no lines pulling the thing. I mean, as far as you can see, and I zoomed it in all the way, and it's like the resolution is incredible. It's only 26-second shot, but I lost it right across the horizon, like right out there. It was a beautiful day that day too, unlike today, which is totally overcast, but that day it was a spectacular day, perfect day in paradise. No clouds in the sky. I feel like I just really lucked out. I had all my gear, I was all set up. The reason why the ships come to Hawaii is one of the things is that they remove some of the sacred waters that are here. Lots of the planets do not have water. And so they take the water and take it to their sites in other planets or galaxies. And this is one of the reasons that it's so important that we keep this earth in balance, and it has to be cared for. It is that sacred. There are a lot of military reservations on the Big Island, right on top of Mauna Kea, Po'akaloa training area. And you know, there's a high concentration of military activity on the island that may be a factor. I never leave home without my camera after this event. I mean, I'm always looking now, because I'm starting to think that a lot of these crazy stories that I've heard from friends around here, there may be some truth to some of them.
It is no secret that the military government and the U.S. have weapons and technology they want to keep secret. Will truth ever be revealed in regards to UFOs?
The U.S. government is still going to hold up to what they have. And it's not necessary for us to go out and ask the government. It is necessary for us as a people living on this earth. We are in control of what we see and what we believe. If we believe that this is happening, and it is happening, well, this is occurring, and the people got to now see the presence of their star family. It's all going to happen. A lot of the people are going to see the technology and receive it, and they're going to use it to better mankind, to balance this earth, and to do the different things that's necessary to make the changes and the shift towards balance.
Pyramids throughout the world have been among us for thousands of years. We're here in the South Pacific. My name's Blake Cousins, and what lies behind me may be more evidence of ancient pyramids right here in the South Pacific. This is a massive structure. you could really appreciate the work put into this monument. Some of these stones are massive, weighing up to 300 to 400 pounds. And as you follow me along here, you could tell and see this wall just stretch for about a whole football field. This is absolutely amazing. Pyramids were built to worship their gods in the heavens. Could it be that the Hawaiians believed in outer space beings from other worlds? It is said in history this massive structure was built in a day, with over 10,000 Hawaiians carrying stone to stone, man to man, to build this massive structure. And we just seen a little peek of what is actually out there. We're here now at the base of the pyramid, from the top to the bottom, and just look at the mass and length of the work that was put into this massive structure here. If you could appreciate, like me, the theory of ancient astronauts, this theoretically could be a sign from the gods. The mystery of pyramids here in the South Pacific scientifically has not been supported, but with evidence like this, how could it be denied? My name's Blake Cousins, and we'll see you again at Third Phase of Moon. In the small, quaint town of Honoka'a on the Hamakua coast lives Dr. Ton Keeney, also owner of the Honoka'a People's Theater. He explains an extraordinary sighting he had on the island of Maui.
I am Dr. Ton Keeney. I am a physician in Honoka'a on the Big Island of Hawaii. I've been in practice in Honoka'a for 35 years. Well, it was certainly my only UFO encounter that I'm aware of, at least. And in order to do that, I'll have to, I think, give you some preface. I've actually told this story a few times over the intervening 35 years because the events I'm going to tell you about occurred 35 years ago. And but I think, you know, some of the preface is important to actually understanding, you know, why I have attached the significance I have to what I saw. So this was in 1976, I suppose late summer. I had just finished residency in Queen's Hospital in Honolulu, and I had 6 months of time before I would eventually take a job here in Hamakua as physician at the Hamakua Health Center. And I was just traveling around the island. I spent quite a bit of time in Maui. I had a little MG over there that, but I didn't have a house to stay in, so I was just traveling around. My routine was to go up to the summit of Haleakala and hike down into the crater, and or maybe hike down one side or the other, and back and forth. I just would go down and then go back up again and do it all again. So I think you have to understand how quiet it is in the crater, because I think that's part of the story here. You know, I remember sitting on a rock at the top of Sliding Sands Trail, which is the trail down into Haleakala, and watching a lone hiker hike down the trail and listening to the crunch of his footsteps as he was descending. After some time, I noticed that the crunch of those footsteps, although receding, I was still able to hear them when the foot changed to the other foot, and then the crunch changed back again to the same foot that he had started with. Now, I'm not sure I can compute it accurately, but I think that that probably means I was hearing this gentleman's footsteps and he was probably about half mile away, maybe a quarter of a mile at least. So very quiet environment. I also remember once hearing the beating of wings and then looking around to see a bird flying pretty far off in the distance. That's something that I had never experienced before. All of these are just you know, little stories to I think demonstrate just how quiet it is in the crater, and the importance of that is that I was staying in the crater one evening. There are cabins there. Sometimes I would be lucky enough to get into a cabin, but most of the time I would just sleep outside with a tent or sleeping bag. And I had climbed the wall of the crater just a ways above Holua cabin, and so I was probably 100 feet off the ground, maybe 200 feet off the higher than the surface of the crater, and then I stayed there for a while. In fact, after sunset. It's so beautiful. And you know, some scenes are just hard to leave. But in the midst of all that beauty and stillness, on the rim, over the rim of the crater, and I think it was beyond Sliding Sands Trail, but over the rim of the crater, I saw two lights that actually emerged up over the rim and then came down and actually seemed as if they were flying inside the crater itself, into you know, below the level of the rim of the crater. And the crater is about 7 miles across, so it's a very big open space. You know, in those days, and I guess subsequently, I have heard that there has been a number of UFO sightings over Haleakala, and but it's just not something I pay much attention to. I'm like I said, I actually have had very little time to ponder those things over the subsequent years. And first of all, I can see it in my mind right now, of course, because it was a fascinating thing to me. Basically, it looked like two headlights. And again, they rose above the rim of the crater. And I would have guessed, if I haven't actually ever thought about it, but I would have imagined something like 300, 400, 500 yards above the rim of the crater. And then they came down into, within the rim. And those two headlights, again, that would be the best I could say. I couldn't see a body that was holding these two lights together, but I'm sure there must have been, because they were in perfect unison, and they went across the crater. Again, it's about 7 miles across, and they disappeared into a cloud bank that was coming up out of Kaupo Gap. Kaupo Gap is kind of where, you know, millions of years ago, lava poured out of the crater into down the, I believe, Kipahulu side of Maui. And the one thing that was most interesting about that is that through all of and the reason I told you about the bird flapping its wings and about following the hiker down the trail, is that there was no sound whatsoever, you know, as these lights flew across and down into the crater and across the crater. And that was the thing that most impressed me, you know, and kept me wondering for all of these years, occasionally, well, what was that? What do I believe? You know, the truth is, as a result of that and as a result of some people's stories that I've heard, I have a very open mind about these things could be, you know, what? Alien spacecraft? I have no idea. But at least I'm open to the possibility that it's not something that is explainable by the things that, you know, my culture has taught me.
All right, Reynolds, this is some of the video that I thought you'd be interested in taking a look at. This was shot over the Pacific, and what it shows is some kind of structure in the clouds. Is this similar to the UFO that you explained to me that you saw in Nevada?
Yes, and these are the type of UFOs that are what they call chatna. This is a chatna type of UFO. The chatna is comes from a faraway galaxy, and what happens is that what they're doing is observation, and the reason for the observation is that many places are being checked out for not only what the people are doing, but just observe them during this time and period as the transition occurs.
All right, Reynolds, I want you to take a look at this video. It was apparently shot over Maui.
And you know, from what I see here is that this video indicates to me that this sighting of a UFO was people that came from the light. They indicated this and showing this that there is a connection between us and the star family.
You know, people talk about the Galactic Federation of Lights. Is this what they're referring to?
That is what they are referring to, because Maui is a very strategic area for UFOs and entering and exit.
People speak of interdimensional beings as well. Is there kind of a correlation between the two?
Yes, because of the fact that we are together. We are the beings. We are here already. We don't have to wait for no one else. This is the fact that we are the ones that have been waiting for each other. And now we're coming together. And this intergalactic beings is us. We're here already.
Hey Reynolds, there's one more video I want you to take a look at.
Sure.
We at Third Phase of Moon receive videos from around the world of many UFOs, and they come in amazing shapes and sizes. The viewers say at home that this resembles some kind of crucifix. Can you explain a little further on what you think this could be?
This is a type of ship they call a hana, which is the ship that takes in water. They travel throughout the places to receive the sacred waters. So you see 4 of it, and it moves in different directions to receive water from falls, ocean, sides, or whatever it may be, to pick up the sacred water and take it to different planets. These are, because there's no water on other planets, this ship is very important. It takes it back to the mothership who delivers it up to the planets.
Absolutely fantastic. If our viewers back at home wanted to get in touch with you in regards to spirituality and higher being, how would they do so?
Please contact me by my email, and it's located at the bottom of this video. Mahalo.
A new resident of Hawaii from Arizona comes to Hilo Bay and finds himself in the middle of an amazing encounter.
I'm Nick Pierce. I'm 23. I'm from Arizona. Just moved to Hawaii. I have not seen UFOs before since being here. That's about it. I believe in UFOs, though, definitely, for sure, that they exist. Oh, it totally looked like, in my opinion, it looked like a ship mast. Just kind of all lined up like that, but it wasn't a ship mast. It looked like 3 planes, so like a big plane and 2 smaller planes, like that. So I pulled over to the right on the side of the road there after seeing these bright lights, and I kind of felt kind of blessed. I'm like, huh, here's something I gotta see. So started filming it and everything, and just looking at these really bright lights just reflecting off the water and totally vivid. Me and there's like maybe like 20 other people watching the same phenomenon, and it was definitely mind-blowing. Everybody just sitting there and just totally awestruck by this vivid bright light, and it just totally looked like a ship mast. I mean, we're in Gila Bay, mind you, you know, so it could have been a ship, could have been a military drone. I really don't know what it was, but it was definitely something. And it, I don't know, just kind of how it panned out, like I said, kind of like straight like that, and it also just kind of lined up like totally horizontal, and it was just so vivid, definitely. Definitely my friends, when I showed them the video, they didn't really believe me. You know, they kind of said, oh, aliens don't exist, or UFOs don't exist. I said, no, I didn't see a UFO. I just saw a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, captured it on camera, and showed them something different, gave them something to think about. Like I said, most of my friends, they didn't really believe. I didn't really believe it either, but I'm not calling it a UFO or anything. I just saw something special, that's all I saw. Yeah, it was totally just like when the light first happened, when I first saw it, there weren't a lot of people there, so I pull up, and then behind me there was like 5 or 6 cars. You know, they all pulled us all the same way too. They just all stopped, and they're just like totally just like awestruck. It was just this mass hysteria, you know, I'm clicking everything, and everybody's coming in, screaming and hollering, pulling out their cameras, and they just want to get a picture of the lights. You know, they want to see what the lights are and everything, and it was just totally mass hysteria. Everybody's like, come to the light, come to the light, and once they saw the light, they're just like sitting there, just totally just, like I said, awestruck. Definitely since I've been here in Hawaii, I've definitely, you know, noticed some things. In Arizona, the sky is not so clear. You can't really, you know, it's not really, I haven't seen any sightings in Arizona, not at all. Not met anybody who ever seen anything like that before. But since I moved here in Hawaii, the skies are clear. And I could definitely, you know, I can look up at the sky now and definitely notice that there's going to be something up there. I've gotten in contact with some people that, you know, have seen things like that before, hundreds of sightings. And, you know, you see it on Facebook, YouTube, Google UFOs, you get hundreds of sightings on the Big Island, right here. I'm gonna always have this ready. That way I can capture them extra special moments, and you know, I see in the sky, whether they be lights, UFOs, whatever the case may be. I'm gonna capture those moments, and I'm gonna share them with everybody that I know. That way I can give them a different perspective and make them think about something extraordinary.
We receive videos from around the world in regards to UFO phenomena. Now today and this week, we're going to go over a special 5-step program on how to capture UFOs properly. Now let's get to step 1 right now. Step 1, keep it cool. When you see something strange and unusual in the sky for the first time, it can get exciting. But just remember your surroundings, time and place, and then proceed to step 2. Step 2, keep it steady. Whether you have an HD camera or a small iPhone, it's always important to stabilize on the object. Whether you have to go down on your knee and just stabilize, that's what it takes, get the shot. Remember, steady shots equals great video. For example, this is a very shaky shot in comparison to a steady shot like this. Step 3, perspective. Whether an object is against a black or blue sky, it's very important to get some kind of material object in the foreground or background. A building, street lights perhaps. The more information and material we get to see within the video gives us more of a perspective on how large this craft or crafts could be. Zooming in and zooming out at times on the object is very helpful, and pans every once in a while. Now on to step 4. Step 4, focus. One of the largest complaints we get here at Third Phase of Moon is blurry footage. It's very important to set your camera off from the autofocusing mechanism. When you're filming a UFO for the first time, you don't need your camera trying to help you out.
Autofocus sucks so bad, dude.
Blurry images always seem to have a problem with viewers. If you want to get a good UFO shot, keep it in focus like this. It's best to set your camera on infinity for best results. Now on to step 5. Now on to step 5 and the most important step. When you've captured something amazing, it could be possible smoking gun footage. Make a backup of the copy immediately, then upload it to YouTube. If you've captured anything amazing in regards to UFOs after these 5 steps, contact us at Third Phase of Moon via Skype or Facebook. My name's Blake Cousins, and we'll see you again next time.